new coach of the Phoenix Suns. As I mentioned during my introductory press conference, we wanted to have a thorough process. The amount of interest in the position was really overwhelming, and that was one of my challenges, was trying to manage all of that and trying to prioritize the top candidates. So as the process went on, and Lon and Robert and I met with a number of the top candidates. We spoke to a few on the phone as well. We did our background checks. We talked to a number of teams and other coaches around the league and gathered information. And it became clearer and clearer to us as the process went on that Jeff Hornacek was the right guy to lead the Phoenix Suns going forward. As I stated in my introductory press conference, we were looking for somebody who is a leader. And those of you, especially the ones of you who have been here for a long time, remember Jeff as a player and the leadership characteristics he had then, and obviously he still has now. We're also looking for someone to develop our young players, all of our players actually, young and old, and to get them better individually. And Jeff's work with the Jazz over the past 6 years has drawn rave reviews and has given us great confidence that he'll make each of our players better individually. And we're also looking for someone who can communicate. A lot of you guys know Jeff personally. As a player, he was a leader and a great communicator. He was a winner. And we think that he did exceptionally well in his interview. And he has some great ideas, but more importantly, he can communicate those ideas to the players and the fans and the rest of the community here in Phoenix. So with that, again, I'm thrilled to introduce the new head coach of the Phoenix Suns, Jeff Hornacek.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks, Lon. Thanks, Robert, wherever you're at. I really want to say that I appreciate the opportunity. When I met with these guys last week, the direction that Ryan and Lon and Robert wanted for this organization, and they laid it out there for me, and it was a setup that I can compare to when I was here way back in the day in '88 when we brought some guys in named Kevin Johnson and Mark West and Tyrone Corbin, and were able to take a team that was struggling a little bit and get back to the winning ways. So I really appreciate it, and I'm honored and excited to be here. It's a case that the Phoenix Suns organization has been a great organization forever. From the time from Dick Van Arsdale and Gar Hurd to Walter Davis, Larry Nance, guys I played with, and even before that, Paul Westphal and Alvin. And I always say with Alvin, I wish he would have stuck around and played a little bit longer. I was a rookie when he decided to retire. He took my wife and I, Stacy, Sarah and him were great, took us under his wing and helped us out. So, that great tradition of them. Then through our kind of turnaround to Charles taking them to the finals, to now getting Steve Nash and his MVP awards and Amari in that group. So there's been great success here over the years. The one thing that I always felt is missing is that championship. And I thought maybe in 1990 was a year that we had a chance. If Kevin wouldn't have pulled his hamstring at halftime, right before halftime, and if we would have got by Portland right there, we felt we could beat Detroit in the finals. We had the three guards and Dan and myself and Kevin to beat those guys. We beat them twice in the regular season. So there's that unfinished business of trying to get there and talking with Ryan and Lon and Robert, and like I said, the vision they have is to get us back to that level. And I had great confidence in what Ryan laid out there and said, hey, this is a perfect situation for me. So again, appreciate that, and hopefully we can continue to get back to that level. Coaching-wise, I've always felt that I've been a coach. My dad was a coach, so I've been around basketball since I was 5 years old. A lot of you probably know the story with him, and to have a father that, as you grow up, you can always bounce stuff off. I remember going to the gyms when I was little and hanging out with the players and see the camaraderie that these guys and high school kids would put me on his shoulder, buy me candy bars, and So I was hooked to basketball from then on, and I've had a tremendous amount of great coaches, starting with him, going through college with Johnny Orr, and then getting drafted by the Phoenix Suns and playing for John McLeod, who called a lot of plays, and as a late second-round pick, allowed me to go ahead and call whatever plays I wanted. He was always calling the plays, but he said go ahead and do it, and I just knew to get the ball to Larry Nance, Alvin Adams, Walter Davis, just get them the ball somehow. And then probably the biggest influence for me was when Cotton came here. We had some trying times at that point, and Cotton came in here with his positive attitude, gave every player confidence, was upbeat, brought the whole community from fans to players, coaches, our wives, people in the stands. He just brought that really family atmosphere to the game and to this organization. For me, was a perfect fit, and something that hopefully coming back here, I know they've continued that over the years, but any way I can improve that, would like to do. And then following, obviously, Cotton, being with Jerry Sloan, and the tough-minded playing, the execution. I just felt I've had a bunch of great coaches where I've been able to take a lot of things from. Hopefully I can take Jerry's toughness, Cotton's enthusiasm, and confidence building, and blend them all together and become a great coach like some of the great coaches that have been here in the past.